breaking free. Yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression. It's out for liberty. Breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts. We're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. Reclaiming our land.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness. Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is the political cage match where bold solutions win and bad ideas get wrecked. Tonight on Are You Smarter Than a Politician? Can critical thinking beat career politicians? 3 bold candidates take the stage, outsiders that are running to knock out the career politicians holding America back. From public safety to taxes, education to energy, they're proving ideas still matter more than insider status. It's brains versus bureaucracy, and these new candidates are here to take their shot. So get ready, because tonight you decide who is smarter than a politician. Joining us again, my buddy, Rob Yates. He is a candidate for mayor of Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, you may know, has not been in the news at all recently, so this will be interesting. His campaign site is prospercharlotte.com, and he's also a member of the Libertarian Party of North Carolina. You can follow him on X at ProsperCLT2023. How are you tonight, Rob?
I'm doing fantastic. Do you know what? Every time I watch that intro, Free, when I can't stand this show, and you're laughing at the beginning, it gets me every time. But I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me in the midst of a campaign that went from, perhaps standard and predictable to all of a sudden there is a lot going on. And yeah, we're at it. We're going at it. Certainly not taking it sitting down. Fundraising events, radio interviews, news interviews, debating Mayor Vi Lyles. It's been a wild couple months.
Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us again. And joining us for the first time is Dave Crance. And Dave is a candidate for the Virginia House of Delegates. His campaign site is daveforva.com. He's a member of the Libertarian Party of Virginia. You can follow him on X at Dave Crance. How are you tonight, Dave?
Hey, doing well and happy to be here. Excited to see how the show goes. I looked over a couple of my opponents here. And, it's really good to see that all 3 candidates are about local liberty in action, which is a big thing I think of. And when I look at what we're all doing here, we're all focused on the local issues that really matter to our communities. So I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out if some national level questions come up. But working hard the final 2 weeks. And like these guys, we're just driving to the finish line right now. Thanks for having me on.
Excellent. And last but not least is Vic Kaplan. Vic is running for governor of New Jersey. His campaign site is vicforliberty.com. He's a member of the Libertarian Party of New Jersey and is on X at vicforliberty. How are you tonight, Vic?
Doing great. Thank you. And thank you so much for inviting me. I'm looking forward to this event, and also excited that other people also care about local issues, as I do too. Even though I'm running for a state issue, there are local issues that definitely need addressing, such as affordable housing.
Excellent. And joining us as always, our producer, the lovely Terry Batts. How are you tonight, Terry?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Looking forward to this. Excited about doing this. And I think people will see that a lot of local issues are the same from one end of this country to the other. So you ready to go, chat? Let's get this done.
All right. And shout out to our buddy Joe Hanoush, who helped us put this together. Joe does a ton for candidates that are running for office. Some may say, I may have said, he did more for local candidates in the last election than the previous regime. So we appreciate Joe. Follow him, Joe Hanoush, on X. Good buddy of mine, great libertarian, awesome guy. So thank you, Joe. So let's jump into it here. Please share this out. Help us bust the algorithm. For some reason, they don't want you to hear pro-liberty thoughts here on X or any of the channels. So share us on X, YouTube, Rumble. The winner will get the Ron Paul holding the Ron Paul trophy. There's also, if you're really missing the federal government during the shutdown, we have the do-it-yourself federal government. You just unpack nothing and it'll do nothing for you at home. We have the Mike Johnson signature cologne Swamp Ass, as well as the Ayn Rand Fountainhead teddy bear. We've got the Trump random tariff generator. You just pull his arm and he pulls a tariff out of his ass and it crashes the stock market to the tune of $2 trillion. We also have the home edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician? If you want to annoy your friends and neighbors. And we have the Ron Paul and Murray Rothbard bobbleheads, and as well the Lego Killdozer, because nobody talks about the Killdozer more than me and Casey do. So here's how this works. The rules are I am the government. Whatever I say goes. Scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. Suck it up, Buttercup. Nobody cares. The rules are the contestants can debate each other. They could veto each other's answers. They could tariff an answer. They could redistribute an answer. And they start off with negative 500 points because the government gets paid first. Here's how scoring works. The score. Give or take up to 100 points from contestants. Subscribers get the added bonus through crony capitalism. They can give or take up to 200 points. So little subscriber bonus there. And tonight we're doing something new. Since these three gentlemen are taking their time and spending their own money running for office, if you donate to them during the show, you get to give them 500 points. Just put in the chat, I donated to, and their name plus 500, and they will get 500 points and a little money to help them run the last couple of weeks of this campaign. Every dollar counts. Grassroots candidates are not well funded. They're not getting that APAC money. So make sure you give them some dough if you like what they have to say, or if they're in your area. I donate all over the country to good candidates, and I recommend everybody do the same. All right, so let's jump into the chat real quick here and see who's all here. There's Patty. What's up, Patty? Amity's here. What's up, Amity? First 200 points to my fellow Commonwealth of Virginia Libertarian Dave. Shirley joining us from across the pond. Appreciate you, Shirley. Grumpy Gnome is here, the real Southerner. You can start. What's up, Ocean Blue? Hey, Daniel, welcome. Joe Hanoush, there he is, the great Joe Hanoush. 100 to all the Libertarian candidates. Hodie's here. Welcome, Hodie. 100 to Dave for keeping it local. 100 to Vic for using the same background as Maj. I think he's actually in Maj's house, I think is really what's going on. 100 to Vic for the green screen grand piano. I'm also poor, but I like to give off the wealthy energy. 150 to Dave for the confidence in local libertarians. Another 100 if he takes his tie off and unbuttons the top button. Loosen up, buddy.
Dave, I think you look great.
Catalyst is here. 100 to Terry for the deep perspective. 200 to Rob for no step on snack. 100 to Rob for being nice to me on social media. 1,000 to Rob because he taught my kids that taxation is theft. Welcome, Dogwood Blooms. And I forgot a couple of things. So let me just jump in real quick here. You can follow me and Terry on X, Freedom for Us for All, and she is Bats T76. If you want to get some fancy merch, go to freedomsuperstore.com. I am wearing the Taxation is Theft shirt. We got shirts, we got mugs, we got cool stuff. We're on YouTube, Freedom Uncut, Rumble, Freedom Uncut. And I want to thank our subscribers, Terry, Amity, Ocean Blue. Check out Ocean Blue's website for some amazing art. Shura Lee, Dr. Belay and Lisa, Dan, Chris, and Casey, who runs the They Both Suck podcast. Check that out. And if you subscribe to us, oh, and Dave just subscribed too, which was a boss move. If you want to grease the government, that's the way to do it. I'm shocked nobody's figured that out to this point with all the talk of bribery on this show and crony capitalism. So give Terry, just throw in bonus points whenever he needs them. Okay. And our subscribers get exclusive content and events, show credit, discounts on merch, instant follow, priority DMs. And like I said, you get to give double points because of crony capitalism. This is your backstage pass. So appreciate all the subscribers. You're making this less painful for me every month. So thank you. All right. So Terry controls the chat and the scoring. So I will put her back in the back here. Make her life difficult, people. Give lots of points. Do weird numbers. She likes all of that. So, all right. Thanks, Terry. All right. So lightning round. Rob, to you. Categories public safety. Should citizens have the right to defend themselves without government permission?
Not only should they have the right, public service announcement, it's your responsibility to defend yourself and don't ask permission.
Excellent. All right, Dave, to you. Is public safety too often used as an excuse for government control?
Yes, public safety is the primary tool to use for government control. We've seen that from COVID forward with it. Absolutely.
All right. Vic, to you. Should private security be allowed to replace local police in high crime areas?
Absolutely, 100%. Anything that's not funded by taxpayers should absolutely be replaced by private security because taxation is theft. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Through the first round, that went well. And Rob, back to you. Categories libertarian democracy. Should government exist only to protect life, liberty, and property?
So insofar as government must exist, I really don't see any other reasonable or legitimate purpose.
All right. Back to you, Dave. Should laws require majority consent before enforcement?
That's a tough one. I'm kind of against any new laws whatsoever, but if we have to have laws, I believe that, yes, it should require majority consent. The community at the local level should be able to decide what's right and wrong for them. Personally, I don't think we should have any new laws whatsoever. We got too many as is.
Yeah, I like that too. Vic, back to you. Should any government function be outsourced if private markets can do it better?
Absolutely. If any money can be saved for taxpayers, it should be. If private sector can do a job better than government can, it absolutely should be done by private sector so that every dollar that people can would earn would be yours. Absolutely. Definitely outsource it to the private sector if the private sector can do a better job.
All right. Rob, back to you. Should personal freedom outweigh collective comfort?
It's a trick question. With personal freedom, we will find the exponential increase in collective comfort as society thrives and prospers.
Ooh, good answer. I'll allow it. Dave, to you. Should citizens be able to secede from bad government?
That's a tricky one. No, I don't believe that we can succeed as individuals from a bad government, but I think a peaceful succession as communities, even as states, should be allowed if the majority wills to leave it. If the government's not performing for us, we should have every right to say we've had enough with you. We'll do our own thing over here.
Excellent. All right, Vic, back to you. Should the people, not politicians, decide how much government they want?
Absolutely. The people should be able to decide how much government they want, because the people should be able to choose the people to represent them, who will then decide how much government they want. So I do believe in individual right to make decisions for our own life. How can politicians make decisions that they think is best for them when it's impossible for one person to know what's best for two people? I'm not even talking about 1,000 or 1,000,000. Yes, the best form of government is self-government. You know best how to run your own life.
Excellent. Rob, back to you. Categories property rights. Should you be able to build anything on your land if it doesn't harm others?
I mean, provided you're able to build it. In fact, yeah, it's ridiculous. If the government can tell you you can't put something on your own property, then you don't own your property.
All right. Dave, back to you. Should eminent domain be abolished?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just no right for the government to come in and take other people's property with it. That's what it comes down to. It should absolutely be abolished with it. It's a huge overreach of power.
All right. Vic, to you. Are property taxes unconstitutional?
Well, in the state of New Jersey, they're not. But in terms of philosophically, yes, I do believe they're unconstitutional because you should not be taxed on the property that you own. It's your property. You bought it. You own it. It should not be taxed. It belongs to you.
All right. Rob, back to you. Categories: business permits and fees. Should small businesses be free to open without permits?
So I'm going to flip the script. I'd say no, all the way down to lemonade stands. I think you need a permit even to open a lemonade stand. And obviously, I'm being very sarcastic there. The idea that you need permission to engage in commerce with someone else is almost as ridiculous as the idea that you need permission to put something on your own property.
All right. Dave, to you. Should occupational licenses be abolished?
Absolutely. I think it probably would depend a little bit upon what the occupation is, but at the end of the day, it's up to the consumer to choose who they want to go to. Does somebody need a license to be a hairdresser, to work on somebody's nails, to be a barber? It's ridiculous. Now, I think they should be abolished with it. Actually, honestly, all of them should be abolished.
Absolutely. The private market can handle that even better than the government could. Vic, to you. Should cities compete to cut red tape for entrepreneurs?
Absolutely. I strongly believe that cities should be able to have as welcoming opportunities for entrepreneurs as possible. The problem in the state of New Jersey is we're one of the least business-friendly states in the country, and it should not be that way. So, yes, absolutely. Cities should have as welcoming opportunities for entrepreneurs as possible with as few red tape and regulations as possible to make them competitive so that can invite more people in and so that the cities could prosper 100%.
All right. That brings us to our first score break. So if you've not entered your scores in the chat, now is the time to do so. Let's jump into the chat and see what everybody thinks. Good morning, Shirley. Mark says, if I identify as a voter in Charlotte, even though I live in Virginia, can I vote for Yates for mayor?
I think you have to be a Democrat to vote if you don't live in the city or if you're dead.
That's fair. 200 to Rob for looking the most libertarian. Yeah, he's got the DJ Jazzy Rob hat on again. 200 to Dave for quid pro quo. 100 to Dave for looking like he works at a fancy restaurant. I'll take a Cosmopolitan. Yeah, I'm sure that's what you drink, Scientific. Valerie's here. Welcome, Valerie. 100 for not asking permission. 100 to Rob. It's a responsibility.
That's my wife, by the way. I ask permission all the time. There's irony in that comment.
Free men don't ask permission, Rob. I heard that.
I'm not a free man. I'm married.
100 for Rob.
What's up, Cassie?
200 to Rob. Free men don't ask. There we go. Free men don't ask permission.
Sorry to disappoint.
Well, I guess I'm wondering where I heard that now. 200 to Vic. Taxation is theft. Phil's here. What's up, Phil? 100 to Rob because his flags are based. Patty's got 93 to Kaplan. Love his music. 200 to Vic. 100 to Vic for having a shirt that reminds me of my grandma's curtains. 200 to Dave. No new laws. 33 for Dave's wall. 200 to Rob because I love Valerie. That got weird. Minus 100 to Dave for not understanding infinite secession down to the individual. 100 points to Rob. His answers have a nice beat that you can dance to. Welcome, Mandy. 100 to Vic. People decide government, individual rights. 100 to Rob. What's up, Ray? 100 to Rob for being just for men's touch of gray advertisement. 100 to Rob for property rights. Somebody in my hometown is fighting to use a motocross track on his own property. Minus 100 to Dave for secession comments. 200 to Dave, eminent domain is theft. 200 to Rob, F permission. Minus 100 to Rob for sarcasm and 100 back to Rob. So it was a break even. 100 to Vic.
Thanks, right?
Chuck's here. Welcome, Chuck. 100 to everybody for life, liberty, and property. 100 to Vic for being the most understandable person from New Jersey I've ever heard. That's the summer you spent on Jersey Shore, right? Scientific. 100 to Rob for realizing that Valerie's the boss and Freeman do ask permission. Right? Yeah. So, all right. So let's see where that ended up with points. Ooh, it's tight already and lots of points so far. Rob's in the lead, 1,800. Dave right behind, 1,783. And Vic with 1,600. Vic, third place so far. What do you think?
Well, it's still a long way to go. But hey, if I ended up losing, I'd love to lose to another libertarian.
That'd be a first, right? And remember, you can give them 500 points if you donate to their campaigns. So do that. All right. And also, so Dave, you're in second place. What do you think?
I took the tie off. I'm looking for the extra 100 points.
There we go. Good call. Good call. All right. And Rob, you're in first place. How you feeling?
I'm not surprised. North Carolina represent.
All right. Back to it. Rob, to you. Categories parental rights. Should parents have final say over their children's education?
I mean, obviously, yes, but I sort of reject the premise of the question as if anyone else should have a say over their children's education without the parents' involvement.
Stop rejecting premises of the questions. I wrote the damn questions, Rob. All right. Dave, to you. Should parents have final say over their children's medical care?
How is that a question? Absolutely. I'm done. Absolutely. I don't even understand the question.
If you read the news, sometimes the state forces parents to do stuff like vaccines and things like that.
And they should not be allowed to.
Okay. All right. So I just didn't know if you're if you're questioning where I came up with that from. So I read some stuff. All right, Vic, to you. Should government agencies ever override a parent's decision?
Absolutely not. The parents should have complete control over the lives of their children. It's the parents who are in charge of the children's lives, not the government. They're the ones who know what's best for their kids, not the state.
So that was a long way for me to go just to prove that libertarians care about parents and kids more than the government does. So just if anybody wasn't following along there. Yeah. All right. That was a good category. Civil liberties is the category now. Rob, should the Patriot Act be repealed in full?
Man. So for everyone watching, if you're on the show, free let you know beforehand, like don't sit up here and politic or go on a diatribe. I hate the Patriot Act with every goddamn fiber of my being. It should be repealed in full. The people behind it should be put in jail. All of the data that they have collected should be burned and use this energy to power the country for free for a little while. And it should be left in history with disgusting things like communism and Nazism.
I love it.
That's how I feel.
How do you really feel?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for holding back. All right, Dave, to you. Should any form of censorship by government be illegal?
No. Absolutely not. I mean, people should have the right to say whatever they want. Look, the example I always give real quick, I served in combat. I've been a paratrooper, and I watched somebody burn a flag in front of me once. And you know what? I thought, that's what we fought for. Their right to express their freedoms. We shouldn't be able to censor anything.
All right. And thank you for your service.
Bree, can I add one there?
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, Amity, but I'm fine with censorship of anything Dallas Cowboys.
Nah, you might win me over.
All right. I did a lot of screen moving for that, Rob. Thank you. All right. Vic, to you. Should digital privacy be treated as a constitutional right?
Absolutely, 100%. We individuals have a right to privacy, and that includes individual privacy, digital privacy. We all have a right to privacy. and all our privacy rights have to be protected 100%.
All right. Rob, back to you. Should government agencies ever spy on citizens without warrants?
So first of all, absolutely not. But and not to reject the premise of the question, because I think it's an awesome opening. I question the validity of a warrant where some like dude in a wig and a black robe 100 miles away can sign a piece of paper that gives, it's stormtroopers authority over your person and property.
Do they still wear the wigs in North Carolina?
I'm going for the effect. I have no idea, to be honest.
Feel like you showed your age there, Rob.
It's the Just for Men.
Yeah.
Drinking a Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Dave, to you. Should citizens be able to opt out of federal databases?
Yes. I don't know why a citizen needs to be in a federal database, to be honest with you.
All right. Vic, to you. Should national emergencies ever suspend civil liberties?
Absolutely not. Never ever should national emergency suspend civil liberties. Our rights do not come from the Constitution. We're born with the natural rights to life, liberty, and property. We're born with those rights, and nobody, no government, no individual can take those rights away. Period. Thank you.
All right. See, Rob, that's how you take a question seriously and answer. That just, if you were looking for a tip, that's it right there. Okay. Back to you, Rob. Categories: constitutional rights. Should the Constitution be enforced as written, not interpreted?
The Bill of Rights should be enforced as written, not interpreted. The rest of the Constitution, I think we need to revisit some pretty significant portions of it, especially the General Welfare Clause.
Okay. Dave, to you. Should Congress be required to cite the Constitution for every new law?
I never thought about that, but again, I don't believe we need any new laws. We need to repeal a lot of existing laws, but I wish they'd have taken that approach when they were writing all the current laws we live under.
I like when people agree with me, so I'll accept that. Vic, to you. Should any agency that violates the Constitution be abolished?
Absolutely. Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution lists the powers of Congress. No agency that stands outside of that article should exist, period. The Constitution is about limiting the power of government, not expanding it. So yes, every agency that's not mentioned in the Constitution should be abolished, period. Thank you.
All right. Went with the double period there. You confused me, but I held off the trigger finger for a second there. So, all right. Rob, back to you. The category is criminal justice. Should nonviolent offenders ever go to prison?
No. I mean, we shouldn't have nonviolent offenders. And to be clear, violence is defined as any sort of thing, aggression against person or property. So fraud counts as violence in this broader discussion. But no, if you're not hurting anyone else, then no crime has been committed.
All right. Dave, back to you. Should mandatory minimum sentences be abolished?
Absolutely. Reality is the law, once written, the law is in the hands of the judges. So it is constantly evolving by every single judicial decision that's made, and setting maximum and minimum sentences with it and guidelines. It takes away that leeway for a judge to be able to make a decision based on the facts and merits of the case and the position of the individual involved.
All right. Vic, to you. Should victims, not prosecutors, decide punishment in minor crimes?
Absolutely. I believe that the victims, since they've been victimized, they should be the ones deciding what the punishment should be. And I'd like the victims to do this to the prosecutors and the judges that have imprisoned nonviolent people who have been convicted of nonviolent victimless crimes. They should be the ones who should seek damages from both the prosecutors and the judges for locking them up for years. And I'd like to have them released and go after those prosecutors and the judges as governor.
Love it. All right. Rob, to you. Oh no, we got to enter scores already. We're back to it. So let's check out the chat. Oh, the chat's hopping now. And we're about to hit 2,000 viewers. So reshare this out. Let's see if we can get a bunch more. 100 to Rob for wearing a straight hat. You might want to adjust your screen there, Mark. 100 extra points for the no tie. 100 to Rob. I wish I could give more. If you subscribed, Ray, just saying, you could give 200. 100 to Vic, since points clearly cost more in New Jersey. 100 to Dave for End It All. 100 to Rob from Declan, because going to school is the worst.
That's my son. We
homeschool.
Oh,
Excellent. Declan's learning right. Shout out to Declan. And I love the name too, by the way. 200 to everyone for parental choice or parental control / choice from Amity. 100 to Vic for the based answer. 100 to Rob, Patriot Act is evil. 100 to Rob, my thing only grows so much. Maybe that's a beard thing. I don't know. 97 for Rob, more fiber is needed. 100 to Dave. 100 to Dave for the burn flag. 100 to Rob for bashing on Brett Kavanaugh, who set the precedent for the Patriot Act. Grumpy's here. What's up, Grumpy? Based Rob, 100. Minus 100 Rob for hating on my team. I saw that coming.
That's nicer than last time.
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah. Night's not over yet. Minus 50 to Dave for agreeing with him. All right. Shots fired. 100 to Rob for dragging the cow turds. Minus 50 for Vic on digital censorship. 100 to Dave for being easygoing, which our focus group says is a good thing at the moment. 100 to Vic. 100 to Vic for the passion for rights. 200 to Vic for the passionate defense of our natural rights. More points for passion. Minus 50 to Rob, Constitution is law. 200 to Vic for life, liberty, and property. Holy sheet. 100 for Kaplan, intrinsic rights and law. 50 to Dave for the answer. 200 to Rob if he uses his hands in an Eastern European accent next time he answers.
I'll keep it in mind.
100 to Vic for yelling his answer at the host. He sometimes deserves it. Yeah, that's true. 100 to Vic, love this woo. Dave, love the no new laws. 200, can't say it enough. 100 to Vic. The accent gives him real punch. 100 to Kaplan for being aggressive sounding. 100 to Rob for bringing up the fraud for reasons. LOL. 100 to Dave for holding a pencil for dramatic effect. Although it kind of reminds me of Bob Dole a little bit. I could go either way on that. I didn't even see hashtag Milton Friedman. That's even better. Right. That pencil came from a lot of places, I think is where we're going with that. Minus 50 to Dave. That was a long way to say 100 to Vic. Let's go. 100 to Vic for based answers. I'm moving to New Jersey if he wins November 4th in his election for governor. 200 to Vic for releasing nonviolent offenders for victimless crimes. Minus 50 to Vic, Constitution limiting government. It failed. 100 to Vic, the Constitution is about delegation of the powers, not rights of the people. Jim's here. Welcome, Jim. 100 to Vic for clarity. 100 to Vic, go get him. 100 to Vic if it's pork roll. Oh, man, the chat's always fire.
Taylor Ham, but oh well.
Lots of points so far here. Vic jumped out in the league with the passionate responses there, 4,050 points. Dave with 3,083. And then Rob went after Amity, which is always a bad move. And he's at 3,047. So let's jump back into it. All right, Rob, back to you. Category is taxation. Should income taxes be eliminated?
I've been eliminated, torn from the annals of history, thrown on the giant fire that we have created with the Patriot Act and forgotten about forever.
So that's a yes. Okay. Dave, to you. Should citizens see an itemized list of where every tax dollar goes?
Absolutely. So long as taxes currently exist, we should have availability to the budgets, to where every penny is being spent, because this is our money. And the biggest problem we have is at the local, at the state, at the federal level, we have too many politicians that see it as their money and don't realize that we're not just the taxpayer, we're their clients. And, we're a client at the end of a gunpoint here. We have to pay our taxes. It's no choice with it. We should at least be able to see where every penny goes.
All right. Vic, to you. Should property taxes be replaced by user fees?
100%. That is part of that platform. Replace taxes with user fees. What? Absolutely. You should only be paying for a service that you're using. You should not be paying for any other service. That is a just system. That is a fair system. And that is the system I support. And that is the system I will fight for if I am elected governor. Thank you.
Excellent. Love it. Rob, back to you. Category is fiscal policy. Should the government budgets always be balanced?
This is always a crazy question and discussion point to me. I mean, yes, obviously, the government shouldn't spend money it doesn't have. It shouldn't be incentivized to create some sort of budget deficit to take more of our money. But going back to what Vic just said, we should basically be paying for services by fees. If we must have a government that they run through, we can talk about that. But there should be no opportunity for an unbalanced budget because it should be 100% fee and subscription based.
All right. Dave, to you. Should every government program have an automatic sunset date?
Does tomorrow evening work? Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in government programs that not only run forever, but continually grow. I've never thought about the term of automatic sunset date, but I do like that in the sense of it would at least limit how long it could bleed us dry if it's an ineffective program.
I'm busy tomorrow evening, so could we do it tomorrow morning instead? Because that would work better for me. Yeah, excellent. All right. Vic, to you. Should states be allowed to reject federal funding strings?
Absolutely. 100%. One thing that I disagree with, and there are lots of things that I disagree with what the federal government does. They have attached the federal funding to the drinking age of 21. And as far as I'm concerned, if I'm elected governor of New Jersey, what we should do is tell the federal government to take a hike. We don't issue federal highway money. We're going to have our own drinking age. If you're old enough to vote, you should be old enough to drink. It's that simple. Thank you.
Now my son just voted for you, so you got that. Let's see if you get points from Declan in the chat.
For the drinking age, we don't pay attention to laws.
All right. Rob, back to you. Category is education. Should education funding follow the student, not the system?
So first, shout out to Appalachian Liberty. Good looking out on the Queen Anne's Revenge shirt. Again, North Carolina represent. And yes, in fact, we are working on a plank update in North Carolina. So our Constitution requires that we fund the education of every child here. So if we must fund it, then the plank is that every education dollar is simply split equally amongst each kid, and the parents get to spend that money towards education however they see fit.
All right. Dave, to you. Should the Department of Education be abolished?
Yes. Look, the Department of Education didn't exist originally. It's a construct that was created, and all it has done is suck down revenue and allowed us, for the majority of the communities and states, to achieve lower and lower scores with it. It's extra federal bureaucracy that we do not need. We should be focused on education at the local and the state level.
All right. Vic, to you. Should teachers be paid by performance, not tenure?
Absolutely, 100%. Teachers should be paid based on performance, and I think that if that happens, this would encourage teachers to become better teachers. We would have real competition, and I think that students will get more of a quality education coming out of this. 100%, absolutely.
All right, Rob, back to you. Category is energy. Should America pursue full energy independence through all sources?
Free. I hate to say I reject the premise of the question, but I don't know that America.
Jesus Christ,
I don't know
Rob.
that America should be pursuing energy independence, but insofar as it has to, then yeah, obviously. And in fact, if we could let the market handle our energy situation, we would have probably a very strong base of nuclear power. I think we'd see some local solar. I don't know that we'd see much wind unless you have a homestead. And we'd have oil and gas supplementing and keeping the grid up, and we'd be in an energy paradise, and there would be a lot less war because there's no need to fight over oil. Instead, we have a bunch of politicians bought and sold by oil lobbyists on both sides. And yeah, this is what we get. Energy that's too expensive, not always available, grids that are going down, and wars being fought for oil.
I reject the premise of you rejecting the premise.
I love your
need
questions. I'm just trying to get an edge here. I'm down to points. I'm down to points.
I need a button to send you to Guantanamo for rejecting stuff. All right, Dave, to you. Should nuclear energy be expanded nationwide?
Absolutely. It's actually the most cost-effective energy we have available to us. And, we're looking at all these green initiatives and alternative energy sources. When we have energy available to us that could really handle the load that we need. This is even more so in Virginia with it. But yes, absolutely.
All right. Vic, to you. Should states control their own energy policies free from the EPA?
Absolutely. The federal government has no jurisdiction over energy under Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution. So absolutely, everything does not belong under the control of the federal government. On the 10th Amendment of the Constitution should be granted to the states and the people. Thank you.
All right. Rob, to you. Category is affordable housing. Does affordable housing mean less government, not more?
Yeah, of course. Of course. So all housing is affordable housing to someone. And this is running for mayor of Charlotte. I seriously talk about this a lot. It's a big problem. We have a centralized planning committee that allows, people to build where the committee says it's okay. They do these independent studies. They're all funded by donors and outside interests. And what you have are a bunch of these crap apartments that go up en masse, strap resources. Your people aren't buying homes. You're not seeing growth in home ownership. You're not seeing rich people move into nicer houses. So older houses that used to be nicer are now supposed to become starter homes. The entire problem with housing costs in our country stems from government. And if you don't believe me, check out Minneapolis and Austin, because they're the only two cities that have continued to build and have done a pretty good job of staying out of the way. And they don't have housing cost problems.
All right. Dave, to you. Should zoning laws be abolished to let the market set housing supply?
I would tend to say yes. Not probably all of them, but most zoning laws should be abolished. I mean, really, going back to what he just said, the whole problem we have with affordable housing, especially as relates here to Northern Virginia, we have too many zoning laws, too many regulations, too much red tape, and that actually drives our cost up $20,000 a home over what it costs to build in North Carolina. So I would say, yes, zoning laws should be abolished to allow for affordable housing as relates to building. Yes.
All right. Vic, to you. Should property owners have absolute freedom to rent, sell, or build as they wish?
Absolutely, 100%. You have a natural right to life, liberty, and property. You're born with those natural rights, and whether they're given to you by God or not, you are born with them. You should be able to do with your property whatever you choose. It's your property. You work hard to buy it, work hard to get it. It's yours, not the government's.
Excellent. All right, Rob, back to you. Oh, no, enter scores. We're moving along here.
Yeah, we are moving fast.
Yeah. All right, we got 100 to Rob for the income tax bonfire.
Oh yeah, Phil. You're invited, Phil.
Yeah. I lost points from Grumpy for giving him easier answers. I didn't give you any answers, Grumpy. I gave you questions, but 200 to Vic. Taylor Ham was correct. 100 to Rob. Wish I could go more. 100 to or million to Rob for income tax answers. Expected 1099. I like Mandy. 100 to Dave for being from the best state, and hi to us. What's up, Travis? Travis has got his light on tonight, apparently. 50 to Dave for saying we are held at gunpoint for taxes. 100 to Rob. 100 to Libertarian Ryan Woodcraft for his historic victory, elected to local office in El Paso, Texas. I'm going to void the points to Woodcraft. He's not even here. 100 to Dave for still being in the basement office at City Hall and for transparency of spending. 69 to Kaplan for user fees. Kat's here. What's up, Kat? Thanks for reposting. 100 to Rob for the Queen Anne's Revenge flag shirt. 100 to Dave for sunset, but also minus 10. 100 to Rob because all is beard. 100 to Dave for next day's sunset of laws. 100 to Dave for sunset. 100 to Rob for fee and subscription model. Minus 100 to Vic for being from New Jersey. Oh, that's rough. He's trying to save the damn state, Travis. Try to pay attention, Travis. Minus 100 to Rob. It needs to follow the classes. But 100 for being based with drinking age to Vic. All right, you're all over the place, Travis. He's in the moonshine. 100 to Rob for good answers. 100 to Dave for DOE being abolished. 100 to Rob for not paying attention to laws. I'll be moving to Charlotte, North Carolina if Rob wins the mayoral race November 4th, 2025. Joe's going to be living in multiple locales if y'all win. So 100 to Rob for the pragmatic answer that will decentralize and optimize education. 100 to Vic, drinking age equaling voter age. 200 to Vic for lowering the drinking age, and 200 to Rob for not paying attention to it.
Unless the cops are watching, then we pay attention.
Yeah. 100 to Rob for education as parents see fit. Vic, I got onto another guy for yelling into the mic, but I love your passion, bro. 200 for passion points. Now, I like the passion. Keep it going. And we can hear you, which is different than Grumpy last show. So 200 to Dave, abolish the Department of Education. 100 to Vic, better teachers means better education. 100 to Dave, Dave's not here, man, but seriously, dude's tip top. That's Patty. He's all over the place. He speaks Canadian. I don't think it really translates or whatever. 100 to Rob, who pays attention to the drinking age? My 12-month-old drinks. Don't judge me. Milk is good. 100 to Rob for saying nuclear power. Minus 100 to Rob for telling Free he doesn't like the question. Thank you, Ray.
That's fair.
Ray's got my back.
I deserve
Chicago. Even though you're a Cubs fan, Ray, love you, buddy. Minus 13 to Rob for rejecting the premise of all of Free's questions. See, bad move. Teachers' pay should be based on how well their students do. Minus 100 to Free for trying to send Rob to Guantanamo. I'm the government.
Thank you, Ray.
That's what they do. I'd bomb his ski boat if he was going there too. I don't even care who's on it. So 100 a day for being pro-nuclear energy. Minus 1 to Rob for rejecting the question, but 100 for the energy.
She actually just texted me to stop rejecting the question. So.
But you got a strategist. Listen to her, okay? 100 a day for being pro-nuclear energy with a suit on, very classy. Rob, your shit, I forgot what I was going to say. 26 points. 26 is 26. 100 to Vic, I wish I lived in New Jersey. That's the first time I've ever said that. 100 to Rob for rejecting the premise. An extra 100 for nuclear. 69 to Rob for housing.
Oh, yeah.
50 to Vic. Devils are up 4-2 after 2. Minus 20 to Dave for the pause. 100 to Rob on housing is affordable to someone. 100 to Dave for getting rid of zoning laws. Virginia District 13 voters are lucky to have Dave Crance in their ballot this election. 100 to Dave for being against zoning laws. I want a nuclear reactor in my backyard. You already have one, Scientific. Let's be honest. 100 to Vic, life, liberty, and property. 100 to Vic, I like his radio, Madden energy. Minus to Vic for thinking life, liberty, and property. What's up, Alexander? Oh, Alexander's running for Anchorage School Board. Check out Alexander. Points to Vic for governor. 200 to Vic for the spot on Yakov Smirnoff impression. Love you, bro. 100 to Dave for being thoughtful in his answers. All right, that was a lot going on there.
Paulson thoughtful. Colston won.
All right. And Vic in the lead still, 49-69. Rob snuck back into second place, 47-78. Listen to your wife, Rob. I think that's the lesson there. Dave in third, but not far behind. It's winnable by anybody, 45-73 at this point. So let's go back to it. We're flying along. Rob, to you. Categories defend the guard. Should states refuse to deploy National Guard troops without a congressional war declaration?
I mean, there are few questions you've had that are a more clear cut. Yes, obviously, defend the guard all the way, and that legislation should be at every state.
Thank you for approving of my first question of the night. I feel validated.
I'm switching my strategy.
All right. Dave, to you. Should governors control their guard units entirely?
Absolutely. I mean, the guard unit is there for the governors to use as they see fit within their state. It's not there for the federal government to use outside of a declaration of war by Congress. It's not there for the federal government to use as police forces in our own nation. It's there to protect and help their state in a time of need and crisis.
Excellent. Vic, to you. Should military service abroad require a formal declaration of war?
Absolutely. Under Article 1, Section 8, only Congress has the power to declare war. And by the way, the President of the United States is not a commander-in-chief unless the Congress declares war in line with the U.S. Constitution or issues the letters of marque and reprisal. Absolutely.
All right. Rob, back to you. Categories transportation. Should states handle all transportation without federal funding?
Wow, Free, what a great question. Yeah, there should be no federal funding for anything. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. I don't even know that states should necessarily handle all transportation. And also, it brings up a whole lot of the memes of, well, what about the roads, which are my favorite way to start a conversation.
I believe that compliment less than I believe anything Mike Johnson has ever said. Just throwing that out there. Dave, to you. Should government stop subsidizing electric vehicles?
Government should stop subsidizing anything and everything. We should let the free market dictate the winners and losers out here. The government trying to force people into cars or boxes or this or that is ridiculous to me. No, the government shouldn't be subsidizing anything. We should let the free market take its course, and that comes to energy also.
All right. Vic, to you. Should cities end red light camera programs entirely?
100%. Absolutely. It's just a way to rip off the people of the United States and to collect more revenue for the government. Absolutely. Stop trying to rip the people off, all right, just because they're 1 mile or 2 miles over the speed limit. The people of the United States should not be treated as criminals because, as we've heard about it many times before, you can't go through a day without violating some 100 or 200 laws. Thank you.
All right, Rob, back to you. Categories electoral reform. Should ballot access be equal for all political parties?
Another great question. Thank you for that one, Free.
Jesus.
You're going to get it this whole round. Yeah, I don't even know that we should have political parties on the ballot. I think we should just have essentially one election that resembles an open primary. If your party wants to stand outside the ballot box or the voting place and hand out cards saying this person is a libertarian, this person's from the Uniparty, this person's from Green or something else, vote this way, what party you represent on your website. But I don't understand how the political parties, the existence of political parties has weaved itself into the fabric of our government and electoral process, like statutorily.
All right, Dave, to you. Should campaign finance laws favor transparency over restrictions?
Yes. I mean, the more we can see where the money is coming from, the better for a voter to make an informed decision. You know, I'm one of those people going back to other old beams. You know, we should have the labels of who's paying for the candidates all over their shirts so they know who's bought them before we have to vote for them. So, yes, the restrictions are necessary on amounts of funding and how it's coming in, but the visibility of the money is the most important thing.
See, that's how you agree without sounding phony there, Rob. That's the way it's done. All right. Vic, to you. Should elections be handled locally, not federally?
Absolutely, 100%. Under the U.S. Constitution, the federal government has no jurisdiction over handling elections. And if we had it the way that Donald Trump wants it, very few people would be able to vote in the state of New Jersey. You can't imagine the hassle that would cause for so many people to try to vote on the same day. That's why you want the federal government completely out of the jurisdiction of elections. Because it's not allowed with the U.S. Constitution, number one. Number two, you don't want the federal government top there in Washington, D.C. controlling elections, because that would allow it to also manipulate elections in their favor. And we do not want to have any form of power to concentrate in one single set of hands. Thank you.
All right. Rob, back to you. Category is ranked choice voting. Does ranked choice voting make elections fairer?
Oh man, so Chris said put something up about ICE and about rhyming this question. I was going to take a stab, but I'll push to the next question because I actually think this one's. I'm not kissing ass this time. This is legit important discussion. Yes, ranked choice voting is an exponential step up from what we have, and really any type of preference voting, whether it's approval voting where you click the people you like, yes for the people you like, and ignore the ones you don't, or where you can select on ranked choice your first, your second, your third, and so on, because it breaks the stranglehold that the duopoly has on the voting process immediately. And overnight, I think there are few single things you could do to revolutionize the politics in this country just more quickly.
Okay. Dave, to you. Should ranked choice replace primaries entirely?
Yes, I think the only thing we should have is ranked choice voting with individual runoff afterwards. So my answer would be, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Vic, to you. Does ranked choice weaken the two-party monopoly?
Thank you for that question. While I do support alternatives to our current system, countries that do have ranked choice voting, all of them have two major parties. If you look at Australia, for example, in the House of Representatives elections, they've always had two major parties and they have used ranked choice voting. What ranked choice voting does is reinforces the two-party system. That is the reality. Anyone can look at those examples, whether it's in Alaska or in other states. If you want real choices, if you want real power for third parties, then approval voting will do the trick. Thank you.
Good answer. All right. Rob, to you. Categories term limits. Should every member of Congress have term limits?
I don't know. I guess I find it hard to get excited about term limits. Like for all the Pelosi's and McConnell's who are just rotting away in there, we'd just get some other idiot from the Uniparty, but we'd be getting rid of Thomas Massey. So I don't know. Maybe it would be an improvement. I find it hard to get as excited about term limits.
What about, you mentioned a couple of people there. What about stroke limits? Maybe just if you've had a certain amount of strokes, you're out.
I actually, if you have had a stroke to the point where you are unable to perform your duties, I think you should be required to stay.
I love it. All right. Dave, to you. Should bureaucrats face term limits too?
I never thought about that, but I like it. Yeah, actually, if you're employed, I think there should be limits on how long you can be employed in the same office or agency. That would create more innovation with it and keep people from making a lifetime out of it.
All right. Vic, to you. Should age limits apply to all elected positions?
Well, I would say that age limits could be a good thing, but I know that a lot of people enjoyed having Ron Paul in Congress. So I would say term limits would be a better alternative than age limits, because we have seen, for example, by the likes of people like Bernie Sanders, who is older than certainly Joe Biden, but certainly does function at a much better level.
Okay. Rob, back to you. Categories ballot access. Should ballot access fees be banned as voter suppression?
when I first filed for mayor, I was talking to one of my friends, I guess, what, 4 years ago now, 5 years ago now, something like that, the first time I ran. And he comes from a much further left perspective. And when I told him, and it was, I think it's like $410 to file to run. And he was like, wow, that's really elitist. And I thought about it and I was like, I kind of agree with the leftists on this. Like, when you put a significant fee for a candidate to get on the ballot, you are creating a barrier that prevents other people who just don't have as much money. And yeah, I think it goes for any sort of ballot access fee. You should just be able to file, or as a party. Well, we shouldn't have parties in the balloting process, but just as a candidate, you just be able to file.
All right. Dave, to you. Should voters decide ballot access, not bureaucrats?
I think voters should decide everything. I believe in putting everything to the ballot to the voters and taking it out of the hands of the bureaucrats and the politicians with it.
Okay. Vic, to you. Should every state have identical ballot access rules?
Well, under the U.S. Constitution, certainly the power to control elections is granted to the states under the 10th Amendment, right? The power to control elections certainly is not in the hands of the federal government. So it's up to the states to decide their own ballot access rules. And I think it should be that way. I do not want to be a king. I do not want to be a dictator, and I do not want to force my beliefs onto the 50 states. Certainly not running for the position of the president of the United States, but either way, I don't have a dictator syndrome. So it's up to the state governments to decide whatever ballot access laws they want to have, which is certainly the case today. At a state level, it would be up to the people to fight for whatever they think the proper ballot access laws should be for them.
All right. Rob, to you. Oh, nope. Enter your scores. All right. Let's jump in. The chat is still hopping here. Where am I? Okay. Maya's here. Welcome. 100 for wearing his hat like that while he answers. We know who she's talking about. Or he's talking about. Travis has got, I may be extremely biased against New Jersey, but I wish Vic the best. 100 points. Zach's finally here, so we can start the show. May have started without you, Zach. 100 to Rob for being in IL.
I'm not in Illinois. I did live in Chicago for a little while.
Yeah. All right, we'll allow it.
It's cold there.
95 to Dave for NG. Everyone gets minus 100 because Zach was late. That sounds fair. Jacob's here. What's up, Jacob? Go Vic, go. 100 points. 100 to Rob for not rejecting the question. Finally.
I listened, yeah. Babe.
Yeah. 100 to Vic for letters of marquee.
Mark.
100 to Rob. I knew he was going to say that. 100 to Vic for calling out Article 1. 100 to Dave. Government should stop. 200 to Dave. End all government subsidies. I'm with Dave. No subsidies. 100 to Dave for ending all government subsidies. 1776 to Dave for no subsidies at all. 100 to Rob. Road soda. 100 to Rob from his mom.
Mom.
We're getting mail-in votes for you now. I'd like to audit these. 100 to Rob for acknowledging the state can't fix the pothole anymore. 100 to Vic for not answering the question right, but answering right. 50 to Vic for ending red light cameras. 100 to Vic for ending government extortion of we the people. 100 to Vic because I'm seriously stunned there's a real libertarian in New Jersey. 200 to Vic, you know why. Minus 100 to Rob, stop bending to free. now you're losing points for it. It's an interesting twist. I appreciate it, Ray. 50 to Rob, it would be 100, but Forward is trying to get on the ballot. 100 to Dave for transparency. 100 to Rob for political parties. It's like a drag race. Run what you brung. 200 to Rob if you can rap his next answer and make.
I was gonna try, and then it was the ranked choice voting one. I'll get one this next round.
Yeah, you got the rap hat on. 100 to Rob because he's a cool dude. Welcome, Jalen. 100 to Vic. Rob, this is how you answer. 100 to Vic for having New Jersey anger. 100 to Dave, Rob, and Vic for being base libertarian candidates. Thank you all for running. 100%. 100 to Vic. Thank you. Minus 100 to Rob for supporting ranked choice voting. 100 to Rob for supporting it. 100 to Dave to say yes.
Yes.
100 to Rob. He looks like a retired skateboarder, but knowledgeable about voting processes.
I do.
100 to Vic for mentioning Alaska. Minus 100 to Rob for gasp or term limits. 200 to Rob for the Massey shout out. 100 to Rob for required to stay, LOL. 100 to Rob for letting stroke victims stay in office, based. 100 to Dave on term limits. 50 to Rob for fee. 100 to Dave for voters to decide. 100 to Rob, unreasonable to charge somebody to be able to have a voice in politics. 50 to Vic for no king comment. 100 to Vic for letting the people choose. 200 to Vic, it's up to the states. Minus 100 to Vic for not wanting to be a dictator. That's an interesting twist, Grump. 200 to Vic for not wanting to be a king. 110 to Vic invoking the 10th. And you know why people pay a toll to leave New Jersey but not to enter? Because who would pay $5? Who wouldn't pay $5 to get out of the state? We got some New Jersey jokes flying.
I guess we do.
Can't blame you.
Yeah. And the irony of all ironies, Vic's in first place still, 64-79. Rob right behind, 63-28. And Dave's right there too, 62-18. All right. Our final category is pick one. Rob, you. Best way to ensure community safety. Neighborhood patrols, police reform, private security, citizen defense groups, or the National Guard.
I wish y'all had heard Free and I go on about this for what, like 3.5 hours a couple weeks ago. But
just as long as they know I won, that's all I care about.
Well, you're gonna like my answer. The best way to secure neighborhood security is private security. Obviously, the incentive is to protect the neighborhood. I mean, that's pretty clear cut. I was arguing in favor of a community policing program for poorer neighborhoods because of incentive structures, but the best way, it's private security, and it's not close.
You see how I never forget? Never forget.
I got that question on purpose. What a great question, Free.
Yeah. You know I write these questions, Rob.
I do. I'm impressed.
Okay.
That's legit.
Okay. Dave, to you. Best way to protect freedom locally. Decentralization, direct democracy, voluntary association, local charters, or state autonomy.
I like all three at the top, and I'm going to say voluntary association would be the best way to go about it. I mean, locally, let us decide who we're going to associate with, who we're going to work with, and how we're going to run our own communities. Voluntary association.
All right. Vic, to you. The most effective way to stop government surveillance, end warrantless spying, ban data collection, private encryption rights, citizen oversight panels, or transparency mandates.
Well, that's a tough one. I would say that definitely end warrantless spying. End warrantless spying. Because if that happens, if that is ended, that should be able to protect our rights. If the government is not violating our rights, then yes, that should be the end of it. All right, ban it, and not just ban it, criminalize it. Make sure that the people who do this, make sure that the people who are engaged in warrantless spying, which by the way is also, yes, it violates our life, liberty, and property. It violates our natural rights. Make sure that those people go to jail. If we put those people behind bars, if that is criminalized, if those people are prosecuted and go to jail, then I think we can sleep much better. That not only that there is a law, but the people who violate our natural rights face the responsibility for doing so by going to jail. Thank you.
Love it. Lock them all up. Rob, to you. Best way to lower housing costs. Zoning reform, rent control, tax credits, private construction, or housing vouchers.
So I'm running for mayor here. Obviously, we got a mayor race going on in New York City too. And I'm starting with the opposite answer because I'm very interested to see when Mamdani wins the best way to just ruin housing costs, because I think he's going for more rent control and adding in some government grocery stores, I believe. I'm looking forward to some 1950s Soviet style bread lines in New York City. In Charlotte, however, what we are going to do is not zoning reform, but work hard to completely eliminate zoning restrictions and let people build.
All right. Dave, to you. Pick the most effective way to cut red tape for businesses. Automatic approvals, permit time limits, sunset regulations, private certification, or statewide reciprocity.
Automatic approvals. When you look at that, and that's actually the answer to a lot of different issues within government with it. Realistically, when you get into everything from zoning to permitting to this and that, the reality is the business, the individual is going out and they're trying to match and decipher themselves with sometimes paying consultants to find out what I need to do here, what I need to do there. Then they get the inspection and they're told, okay, you did that, but now we need you to fix this and that. So they have to go back, do it over, fix this and that. And you get an inspection back out and they say, oh, by the way, now to do the section 2, 3.5, you got to do this too. You should have automatic approvals to eliminate the process with it. A person should know as soon as they come in what is required of them to open, to build, to do anything. And that should be it.
All right. Vic, to you. The best way to defend the Bill of Rights: judicial enforcement, state nullification, citizen lawsuits, public education, or constitutional audits?
Well, when it comes to judicial enforcement, that clearly has been ignored by this White House. They do not care about judges. They just do it anyways. They see the Constitution as an impediment to its power, not as fulfilling the role of checks and balances. So therefore, I have always supported nullification. This is what Thomas Jefferson supported with the 1789 Kentucky and Virginia resolutions. We must nullify federal laws that are unconstitutional, because if the federal government is violating our natural rights, who would be the last line of defense? It's up to the governors, the local officials, the mayors, the councils to tell the federal government to back off. You shall not violate our national rights. I support 100% the nullification of federal laws. That includes the federal immigration laws that fall outside of Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution, which only mentions naturalization, which is citizenship, not immigration. Our founding fathers did not want federal government to be involved in immigration. That's why Declaration of Independence mentions the king's restrictions on immigration as one of the grievances. Keep the federal government out of immigration. Let's nullify all of the federal laws that are not authorized by the United States Constitution.
All right. Back to you, Rob. Best way to improve mass transit: private competition, regional control, federal coordination, municipal ownership, or rider cooperatives?
I mean, I think private competition is clearly the answer. We're struggling with this in Charlotte a lot right now. Everyone's talking about the stabbing on the train, and they're holding press conferences. Congress is coming down here and sensationalizing all this public safety stuff. But there's a sales tax referendum where they want to jack up sales taxes 14% to raise $25 billion to throw at a broken transportation system. And in my plan, we just need to start by letting the market decide where buses and trains go and stop trying to force things that aren't there.
All right. Dave, to you. Pick the best voting reform for fair representation: ranked choice voting, approval voting, runoff elections, proportional representation, or first past the post voting.
I still stay with my ranked choice voting with an individual runoff at it. I'm a big believer that ranked choice voting, whether in a 2-party, 3-party, or whatever system, is going to bring more candidates to the table. The more candidates we have, the more voices we're going to have, the more options we have. And then I like instant runoff because it's just going to slowly move the votes up until we get to that person who probably is going to be more in the middle than the guy that started out at top or the guy that started below in the polls.
All right. Vic, to you. The best way to end mass incarceration: decriminalize drug use, reduce sentences, end private prisons, expand probation, or restore parole options?
Well, I would like to, as governor, to pardon every nonviolent person who has been convicted of victimless crimes. But I think that definitely decriminalizing drug use would go a long way to solving this problem. So absolutely, I do not believe that anyone should be convicted and sent to prison for committing a nonviolent victimless crime. All people should be let out of prisons. But yes, we can start first by decriminalizing drug use. No victim, no crime. Thank you.
Yeah, I should have had that as an option. Good adjustment by you. All right,
Oh,
Rob,
so
to you.
he's allowed to adjust questions.
Yes, he is.
I told you I knew you weren't listening the second time you went through my intro before the show, but I tried to help. But all right, Rob, to you. Best way to reduce police misconduct: body cameras, civil liability, community oversight, union reform, or abolish qualified immunity.
I mean, those are all wonderful things, and we should be striving for all of them. But immediately, right now, end qualified immunity. What an absurd, ass backwards policy. And qualified immunity for police, and prosecutorial immunity, and immunity for state workers, and immunity for judges. The idea that the government can grant immunity to an entity where the government has fiduciary or pecuniary interest in and of itself is absolutely ridiculous. So you can buy immunity from the government. That's what police unions do. End qualified immunity right now.
All right, Dave, to you. The best way to defend family autonomy: homeschool freedom, medical consent rights, education choice, privacy protections, or community support networks.
Gosh, I like almost all of that one. But I would say the fastest thing that comes to my mind, especially with the school issues here that they're having in Virginia with it, would be we'll go back to the screen. Thank you. Educational choice. Give people the freedom to determine where their children go to school with. Allow them to create more. That would create more competitiveness in the school environment with it. We have a significant lack of charter schools in Virginia with it. I wish that we had more, but again, our local school districts and boards determine acceptable charter schools versus, again, having an automatic approval process at the state level. So it leaves us lacking in the charter schools. I believe that if we could allow the parents a break on taxes if they're enrolling in private school, if we had more charter school options, if we could give them more freedom of choice, not only would it improve the quality of education, it would improve the competition at the educational level with our public schools, and they would improve.
All right. Vic, to you. The best system to fund government fairly: flat tax, consumption tax, progressive tax, user fees, or voluntary contributions.
I will go 100% for user fees. That's the fairest system. That's the most just system. You should only be paying for the services you're using. It's that simple. If you want to voluntarily contribute to other services, you should have the power to do that. And if you had more money in your pockets and the government wasn't stealing that money from you in the first place, then you certainly would be able to help those other services if that is what you choose. It's your money. You work hard for it. You deserve to keep it. Thank you.
All right, Rob, back to you. Best way to encourage new housing development: cut red tape, public-private partnerships, government subsidies, state planning boards, or community co-ops.
Yeah, I mean, cut red tape, cut all the red tape, cut all the barriers to development, and let the market determine where housing is built, what type of housing is built. Let the market hold builders accountable. We have all sorts of ridiculous restrictions that are destroying the housing market in Charlotte. Again, lots of crap apartments where you're paying more for rent now than I pay for my mortgage I bought 20 years ago. But they also, when you have these strange restrictions, they find ways around them. They find loopholes. You have real environmental concerns instead of people just being able to buy a house that is, environmentally sound within your price range that fits your needs. The market can fix this, but we have red tape and bureaucrats and people getting paid and palm greasing, and it's just another proof of central planning being one of the single greatest social failures in human history.
Love it. Dave, to you. Best way to empower parents in education: vouchers, tax credits, open enrollment, homeschool exemptions, or education savings accounts?
There's a lot of answers I like. Same question. But going back, I would do the tax credits. I mentioned that in the earlier answer with it. I hate to go right back to the same thing. But if the parents are removing their children from the public school system and spending money to put them elsewhere, they're already removing a burden on the school system. So why should they be paying twice for that? And again, I think anything that incentivizes more educational opportunities, going back to charter, private, alternative, even homeschooling, I think there should be credits for that, because at the end of the day, the more alternatives there are, it's easier to find a better fit for your particular child and your particular needs and wants with it, number one. Number two, it's going to increase the competition overall, both at the private level and the public level. There's no competition for our public schools currently. So I think if we could increase competition, we're actually going to see better results at every single level with it.
All right, Vic, to you. The best way to prevent overspending: line item vetoes, automatic audits, constitutional limits, public transparency portals, or citizen veto power?
Well, we have had the constitutional limits, but doesn't seem to have done any good in terms of restricting the power of government. We have the power of government and the government agencies that exist despite the constitutional limits that are in the U.S. Constitution. And therefore, I will actually support the people. Light on and veto would be nice. That would require a constitutional amendment. Of course, given the propensity for presidents to support the expansion of federal power, I have zero trust in the ability of politicians to control spending. And therefore, I would like to give that power to the people to be able to say no to federal spending and be able to put the veto on federal spending. This is why I support nullification, not just by the governors, but the people of the United States. Thank you.
All right. 3 questions left. Next one's to you, Rob. Best way to improve roads: privatization, gas taxes, tolls, public-private partnerships, or federal infrastructure bills?
So I think the best way to improve roads ultimately is privatization. One of the big ways that libertarians fail to message is, no pun intended, but the off-ramp. So we have lots of public roads. I think we can start with some toll roads and really building a private infrastructure along the existing public highways, or where there's real need for roads that the public forces have failed to determine, and transition to a private system.
All right. Dave, to you. Best way to limit federal overreach in war: Defend the Guard Act, state nullification, war powers reform, budget restrictions, or citizen approval votes?
I would say more to war powers reform. This is one of those ones we mentioned other answers. I'm just not seeing it right now. We need to get back to taking an act of Congress for us to go to war. We should not be investing money overseas to belligerent nations. We shouldn't be investing in the slaughtering of people overseas. I'm speaking again as a combat veteran myself 2 times. But we also shouldn't have our 18, 19, 20-year-olds like I once was overseas playing policeman roles, nation building with it. We should only react as a nation in defense. And that should, and you know, the money, the taxing and the money that we're sending overseas to sponsor and pay for these wars is absolutely horrifying to me, and it needs to stop. We should only be involved with a congressional act of war. That's the answer that's missing. That is the proper answer, because really it hasn't been used. We're looking at decades, multiple conflicts, police actions, whatever you want to call them, that are not actual wars. They're not congressionally approved with it. So it needs to end. We need to get back to what the Constitution meant for it to be.
All right. Last question of the night goes to Vic. The best way to achieve energy independence: domestic drilling, nuclear expansion, renewable innovation, and market competition, or end foreign oil?
Well, the competition is a solution to our energy problems. In my own state of New Jersey, we have government monopolies controlling energy. So you only have a limited choice when it comes to utilities. And then people are complaining that energy prices are going up. The best solution is competition. Let the people choose. Let the people decide anywhere in the country what are the best energy sources, what are the best energy utilities. And once they do that, once they will make that decision, once you will make that decision, the energy prices will come down because you will be choosing the best energy utility that's best for you. You know what's best for you. And when that happens, when people will be allowed to choose because they have a right to choose and being artificially restricted by the government, they're being prevented from choosing. When you choose, when you make that decision for you, the energy prices will come down. This is what happened with other industries, and this is what will happen with energy. You just must allow, the state must allow the people to be able to choose. Freedom to choose is the most fundamental American freedom, and I will fight for that freedom every step of the way. We're not North Korea. We're not Cuba. It's the freedom to choose that allows the American people to prosper. Let's unbind the human potential. Let's allow the people to choose, and you will see a true golden age in America, not the one that is being promised by Trump, and we have seen the negative results of it. Thank you so much.
All right. That gets us to our final scoring. Enter your scores if you haven't done so far. Tell us who you think won. Tell us what you thought of the show. Let's jump into the chat one last time here. 100 to Rob, private security is the way to go. 100 to Rob. 200 to Rob for sucking up to me for great questions. 100 to Rob on volunteering, or 100 to Dave on volunteering. 100 to Dave for voluntary association. 100 to Vic for ending spying. 100 to Rob for private security. 100 to Vic for spying accountability. 100 to Vic for natural rights. 100 to Vic straight to jail right away. 100 to Vic for life, liberty, and property. 200 to Vic for criminalizing government overreach. Minus 50 to Rob, you're a terrible rapper.
I owe Chris one. It's a candidate thing. I swear to God, I thought about trying like 3 times. I'm trying to be a little serious here.
Yeah. 100 for Friday Night Fight energy, lock them up. 100 to Dave, automatic approval. 100 to Dave. 100 to Vic for nullification. 100 to Vic by not picking public education as a way to defend the Bill of Rights. 100 to Vic for nullification. Breathing fire, man. Breathing fire. 100 to Vic, federal law is unconstitutional and for Friday Night Fight energy. 100 to Vic, based immigration take. 200 to Vic for nullification. 100 to Vic for nullification of unconstitutional federal laws. 100 to Rob, they're actively denying the 14% increase. 100 to Rob, no mech, for mech, no transit. Brent's here. What's up, Brent? Negative 200 to Vic for being an ultra grumpy socialist. 100 to Dave, more diversity, the better. 100 to Dave for maybe changing my mind on ranked choice voting. Interesting. 100 to Vic, no victim, no crime. 100 to Vic for no victim, no crime. Yeah, I feel like Bob Marley all of a sudden. 100 to Vic for decriminalization of drug use, and 100 more for no victim, no crime. 100 to Vic, no victim, no crime, or whatever. Here we go, Bob Marley. There we go. I channeled that. 100 for the accent guy, victimless crimes. The accent. We've been doing this for 90 minutes. You didn't learn his name yet? All right. 100 to Vic, no victim, no crime. 100 to Governor Vic Kaplan for pardoning nonviolent, quote, criminals. 175 to Vic, no woman, no cry. I think that's where we're going with that. 100 to Rob for strive for all. 200 to Rob for end qualified immunity. 100 to Rob to end qualified immunity. Everybody should be accountable for their actions. Another one for immunity. 100 from Phil there. 100 to Mayor Rob Yates for eliminating qualified immunity. 100 to Rob, same thing. 100 to Terry for keeping on working. Thank you, Terry. 200 to Rob. And 100 to YouTube for no edit button. 100 to Dave for supporting family autonomy with all the answers. Education choice is the right answer. 100 to Dave for school choice. 100 to Dave for immunity used 11 times in one answer. 100 to Dave for school choice, 100 to Vic, voluntary taxation, 100 to Rob for the market handling housing, 100 to Rob, no more red tape, 200 to Rob for wearing the Blackbeard flag shirt. This show is war. There we go. 200 to Rob for shutting on central planning. That might have been a misspelling. 200 to Rob for being my brother from another mother. 100 to Dave
if
for
y'all,
support.
real quick, anyone watching, you should check out Brent's podcast. It's so smart. I can't believe that it's in any way connected to libertarians.
Yeah. He was just on the show too. Did a great job.
Yep,
and won.
that's where I discovered it.
Yeah. 100 to Dave for supporting parents who choose homeschooling. 100 to Vic for nullification. 100 to Rob for privatization of roads. Congressional approval, no dictator starting wars. 200 to Dave. 100 to Dave, defend the guard talk. Great candidates, Virginia, North Carolina, and New Jersey voters are lucky. And 100 to Free and Terry for a great show. Thanks for your help, Joe Hanoush. Appreciate you, brother. Let's check the scores one final time and see who won. Oh, we had a late change here. Interesting. Rob for the win, 91-28. Soon as he stopped being mean to me, people liked him a lot better. Vic was right behind, 90-54, almost went end to end there. And Dave right there too, 89-18. Dave, you came in third, just a little bit behind. What'd you think tonight?
Oh, I had a great time. Great being here with everybody, and especially listening to the other two candidates' answers. I appreciate you hosting the event and putting this format together. Again, kudos to Joe for getting us all linked up. Thank you to Terry making it all happen. It's great to be here talking with my brothers and watching my brothers and sisters in chat. I feel at home.
And give a shout out to your campaign and how they can donate to you.
Dave4va.com, Dave, the number 4va.com. And on that note, we are in those final 2 weeks. I've got believe it or not, I got a 55,000 registered voter district, 19 precincts. We've gotten to 13 of them with the door hanging and the knocking with it. I probably need to get a last minute mailer out by this Thursday or Friday. So I don't care if it's $1, $5, $50, anything you can do to support. That's going to determine if I can get my info into the hands of those last 3 or 4 precincts here. And I got to make that decision quick. So please consider. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. And the website you just mentioned is dave4va.com. And you can follow him at Dave Crance. Great job tonight. Loved listening to you. Second place went to Vic. What did you think, Vic?
Well, I thought that was a great game. I really appreciate it. Great competition. And as I've said right from the beginning, I would have absolutely no problem. Love to lose to another libertarian. I think that all of the people on stage, I think they're all wonderful. So I'm happy with the second place finish. Absolutely, 100%. So Dave, you were really great, and so absolutely, congratulations.
And give a shout out to your campaign and how they can donate to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my website is vicforliberty.com. That's Vic number 4 liberty.com. You're absolutely please visit my website. You can donate through my website. You can follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on TikTok. Absolutely. So visit my website, and you'll find the links to all 3 social medias, and donate to my campaign as well at Vic number 4 liberty.com. Thank you.
And there's the website right there, vic4liberty.com. And you can follow him on X, Vic4Liberty. He makes it easy on you. Go give him a donation. Help him get there for the in 2 weeks for the election. Every dollar counts. Please donate to these guys. And Rob, you're the big winner tonight. What do you think?
I'm feeling good. North Carolina represent, Queen Anne's Revenge all the way. No, in all seriousness, Free, thank you. As always, you're doing a wonderful thing here. Vic and Dave, thank you so much for doing this. For everyone watching, if you haven't run for office, it's not an easy, it's easy to simply file your forms and say you're running for office, but to actively run for office, it's more work and more stress than you can maybe imagine. Everything you do, everything you say can potentially be under scrutiny. We have the added burden as libertarian candidates where we can be ignored completely for a month, and then something comes up that someone in the uniparty doesn't like, and all of a sudden something totally unrelated is what's blowing up in the news. In Charlotte, we had a Republican, and Charlotte is a very blue city, by 2-1. But we had a Republican come in. She's holding $150 minimum fundraisers like 3 times a week, and people are showing up. I'm fighting to get $24 a person to fight this $240 a year increase in sales tax. But I'm showing up to every event, doing every radio interview I can, harassing the press, putting articles out, and it's just a grind, and you just got to do it. So thank you all for tuning in, for giving points, for letting us have a little fun with this, because once we can't laugh, I mean, then they've really taken everything. But if you want, you can go to lpmeck.org /contribute. So that's for the Libertarian Party of Mecklenburg. We're running a campaign through them because we're fighting the sales tax thing. But any money you give there will go to helping my campaign right now. Again, because it's in conjunction with this fighting back on the sales tax increase proposal. Also, check me out at Prosper, PROSPERCLT 2023 on Twitter. And prospercharlotte.com is my website. I don't use the other socials all that much, but all of them are listed on there, as well as any of my appearances and anything else, as well as contact information. And thank you all very much.
Awesome. And that website is
prospercharlotte.com. There it is.
I'm slacking off here. Prospercharlotte.com, and the X handle is prosperclt 2023. And go give donations. Rob's a great guy, friend of mine, and any help you can give him would be great. He's kicking butt out there. Check out the debate he did and all the things that are out there that he's posting. He's doing an amazing job. So proud of you, man. Keep up the good work. Much. And let's see. Let's add Terry here. Terry, what'd you think tonight?
What a powerhouse show. Man, you guys really showed your stuff tonight. Congratulations on a great job done by everybody, including, I love the chat tonight. You guys kept me busy. I appreciate all you do.
Awesome. And I just want a couple of comments here. Terry said, thanks to the chat. We love the chat. You guys make this so much fun. Daniel thanked Terry. Congrats, Robs. All excellent contestants. Dave, you're a winner to all of us. Thank you, Dave. And good luck, gentlemen. Oh, there's Ryan Woodcraft, who I said something about earlier. And Vic, what an awesome appearance, dude. Everybody got love in the chat. People had a great time. So, yeah, there's a curse one. What a awesome comeback there. Excellent. So, yeah, thank you to everybody. Thank you to the chat. We are back on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Terry, do we know who, or was I not supposed to ask that?
You can ask that. You guys come have some fun with us on Friday night. We have Jake Day, Mike Scott, and David Fight, and pop some popcorn, invite a friend. Let's have some fun.
Awesome.
That's a great lineup.
Yeah, it's a good one. And yeah, that's what Terry does. You can follow me, Freedom for Us for All. Terry is Bats T76. You can get our merch at freedomsuperstore.com. Please help us on YouTube and Rumble. They're not growing very fast, so we could use any help we can get. Thank you to the subscribers. If you want to subscribe to me on X, it helps pay our bills and lose less money doing this. So that would be cool. And again, join us Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you go donate to these guys one last time. They can use all the money they can get. They're not being funded by foreign entities or major corporations. Do everything you can to help them. Every dollar counts. Appreciate you all. Hope to see you Friday. Thank you, chat, and good night, everybody.